What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got more Tales of Arise news thanks to a new Famitsu interview with producer Tomizawa Yusuke. In the interview he talks about a lot of stuff. He talks about the graphics, the battle system, the new characters that were introduced, and he also talks about the Tales things like the post-battle conversations and the skits. Let's go ahead and jump into this interview, jump into this news, and see what this man's got to say about all this stuff. Alright, so one of the first things he touches on in the interview is the graphics. Now, as we all know, the game is in 3D. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. Far and away, easily the best looking Tales game, as it should be. What he also says is that this Tales game is going to have the most anime cutscenes out of any game in the franchise. So the anime cutscenes are once again done by Ufotable. As you know, they've worked with them in the past with other Tales games. So these guys know what they're doing. So I expect these cutscenes to look absolutely gorgeous. What I am curious about though is the style of the cutscenes. I'm wondering if it's gonna be kind of like a 2D animation style that kind of matches the graphics, so it kind of seems as seamless as possible. Even if it does end up being traditional 2D anime cutscenes, they're still gonna look gorgeous, they're still gonna look dope. So either way, I'm gonna be happy. That's just something I am curious about, but we'll see. So next up, he talks about a few of the characters that were introduced in the Festival of Tales trailer. And those characters are Renwell, Law, Hoodle, and Balsif. So Renwell is the first character that you run into, and you bump into her. She's looking for the resistance group in Custodia. She is from Danon, but she can use astral energy, which apparently only people from Rena can do. Right off the bat, there's a bunch of questions I have about her. So why can't she use this energy? Obviously, is she of mixed birth? Can Danons actually use astral energy, but that's just like a myth that they spread on Rena to keep them suppressed? Is she secretly from Rena? Like, was she like a stowaway, or was she like kidnapped, or all kinds of questions. I do like that they're dropping these hints though that are already getting your mind going about what's going on with these characters. Like, you don't know a lot about them yet, but there's already mystery around them. And with that being said, let's talk about Law. So Law, like Renwell, is from Danon, but he works for Bullseye, which is a Renan police force. Again, why does he work for this police force despite the fact that I'm sure that police force exists to subjugate his people? Is he in debt and he's working it off? Is he working to free someone? Is it a self-hate thing and he's just trying to fit in with the people that are in power? I'm really curious about him more than what's going on with Renwell, and that's really because of that whole Danon and Rena dynamic, that hate that they have for each other. So why is he doing what he's doing? The third character that they introduced in the Festival of Tales trailer that they speak of is Balsif. Now, this guy looks like a beast. So obviously, this guy's not a homie. So he's a general from Rena. He's in charge of a group of slaves that mine fire astral energy for him. We know off the bat what he thinks of people of Danon, and Tomizawa did say that he's gonna be one of those characters that really shows that dynamic between the two worlds. Spoiler alert, he don't think Danon's his people. I'm really interested to see what goes on with his character. Is he like a one-dimensional, one-and-done villain, or is he like one of those villains that's constantly a threat throughout the story that either A, grows as a person, or is it one of those he becomes consumed by the hate he has for the people of Danon? This story and these characters have a lot of potential to be really powerful, tell a really emotional story. So I'm really excited about this game, and I'm really excited about what they got in store for the storyline. It can be top tier for sure. It can be really great, but it's also something that they can really mess up. So one of the big things they touched on, one of my major questions about this game was the battle system. So as far as the battle system goes, Tomizawa said they wanted to have a more action-oriented battle system. So to achieve this, they added dodge rolling, which I think is really dope. Not gonna lie, I think that's something that Tales should have had, and I'm really glad that they're finally introducing it. And along with dodging and rolling is counterattacking. Now, obviously this is gonna make the game a lot more action oriented, and that might not be some people's vibe. They might find that a little bit too difficult and a little bit too fast paced. So because of that, they're going to add an auto battle system as well as difficulty settings for the game to make things easier for players that just want to enjoy the story. The gauges are returning, the same gauges that were in Tales of Berseria. What's different about them in this game, however, is that instead of blocking and waiting for your gauges to fill back up after you spent them, you attack to fill your gauges. Now, as you attack and do combos, you can max your gauges back out, which will allow you to loop into other combos. I do have a few questions though. Do enemies have an ability to break a combo loop like Combo Breaker Killer Instinct style? Is there like reduced meter gain as you do combos? Like if you keep looping the same combo over and over and over, does that reduce meter gain? Do you have to switch your combos up in order to increase meter gain? Is there a certain number of combos you can do before it just locks you out and drops? A lot of questions. Hopefully we get answers to these soon, but until then, I'm probably just gonna come up with way more questions. So one of the big questions I had about this game were the mechanics around the battle system. And Tomizawa didn't go into great detail about the different systems, but he did touch on a few things that I had questions about from the trailer. So Tomizawa put really great emphasis on the fact that working with your allies is going to be crucial to success in this game. And one of the types of attacks that highlights that are called boost attacks. Each character has a specific role they're assigned, and a boost attack takes advantage of that role. Now, he didn't go into detail about what characters have what roles and what conditions need to be met in order for these attacks to be done, but he did say that these attacks can be used to extend combos, and you can tell characters you're not controlling to do these attacks to extend your combos as well. Another type of attack in the battle system that he spoke on is called boost strikes. Now, boost strikes are basically finishing moves, and you can do these attacks once the enemy's HP reaches a certain threshold. Now, these are team attacks that you have with your characters, and Tomizawa said that each combination of characters has a different boost strike. So what that leads me to believe is that when you put two characters together, depending on who the point character is, the boost strike changes. So we did get to see one boost strike in the trailer between Elfin and Rinwell, and it looked super dope. Oh, and we saw the one between Elfin and Shinon as well. So we got an example of a couple of Elfin's boost strikes. I'm really curious to see the rest of his with the cast, as well as just the entire cast boost strikes. I really hope that Bandai Namco puts out a trailer of just those so we can at least see what those look like. Because if the ones we saw are any indication, these things are going to get crazy. So I'm really hyped about them, and I'm really looking forward to see what they all look like. So the very last thing they touched on, the thing that makes Tales, the skits and the post-battle conversations. So, post-battle combos. As you all know, You watched the trailer, you saw the battles. There are no post-battle, there's no post-battle scene. Once battle ends, you go right back to exploration. If you didn't notice, in the lower left-hand corner is where the post-battle conversations take place. So those are still in the game. And Tomizawa said that the fans are gonna be really impressed by the amount of post-battle conversations there are in the game. Fingers crossed there's gonna be very, very few repeating conversations. That's what I'm hoping for. Just a myriad of conversations across all kinds of topics about all kinds of things. As far as skits go, he said that skits are returning, but they're gonna be different. He didn't go into detail about what will be different about the skits, but he did emphasize that he wanted skits to be in the game because part of what makes Tales is those skits. Tales as a franchise does a wonderful, wonderful job of world building, and I think outside of the Legend of Heroes series, nothing touches Tales as far as that goes. And the big reason for that are the skits. You learn about the characters, you learn about the world, you see characters change and grow through these skits. So I'm really hyped that they're still in the game. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're implemented. Kinda scared, but putting my faith in Bandai Namco that they know that the fan base loves and appreciates this aspect of the game, so they're gonna treat it right and show it some love. And last but not least, Tomizawa said exploration is gonna be a lot more action oriented as well. And to reflect that, there's going to be jumping as well as swimming as a part of the exploration, which we did see examples of in the Festival of Tales trailer. It seems like this game is going for more, not an action RPG slant, but as much action as they can get away with in their Japanese RPG, it seems. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. That's all the news we have on Tales of Arise for now. As more news drops, as more news gets released, I will definitely hit y'all up and let you guys know what's going on. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, anything I didn't cover that you want to talk about, please leave it in the comments and I will definitely hit you back up. Thanks again for your support. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.